Hi, welcome back to the next in our series of our guided tour of MetaTrader 4. So today we're going to sort of work our way through the view menu. Okay, first option, languages. One of the nice things about MetaTrader is it supports so many different languages. Let's go and pick a language. Now my one is English. Okay, so if you need to restart, you can do that, and then the new language pack will be loaded. As I'm already in English, then I'm going to leave it as it was, but it just enables you to configure the terminal with your favorite language. Okay, next up is toolbars. There are a number of toolbars provided, and we can turn them off very easily clicking on the toolbar. See the tick next to it disappears, and then if you tick it again, toolbar comes back and it's toggle. So that's a sort of a toggle action. Customize. You can customize your toolbars, move things around by using, for example, insert, remove. So you can build your own custom toolbar. So if you need to build tools that are easily accessible, you can do that. To be honest, I leave mine as they are. Don't see any need to build unnecessarily complexity into the platform. Status bar is right at the bottom of the screen. You can turn that off. There it goes. Turn it back on again. Similarly for the charts bar, as you can see, each tab for my chart, if I want to turn that off, I would use the charts bar and then that disappears. Makes it difficult flipping between charts, to be honest, so I'm not quite sure why you would necessarily do that, but hey, you can. If I need to look at my symbol list, as I was saying when we set up, these are all the symbols. I've got everything in the majors. Okay, I can look at metals, which tends to be gold and silver, platinum, miners. If I want to turn those on, that's where I'll find them. I tend to avoid these ones only because the miners have huge spreads on them, which makes it difficult to trade them effectively, in my opinion. Market Watch. So the Market Watch window, turn that off, turn it back on again, is this window here, which you can drag and move to wherever you want. So let's just examine this a bit closer. So let's make it bigger. So on the left, you've got your currency pairs. As I mentioned earlier, mine are .sb because I'm on a spread betting type account. If you're in a standard Forex account, that will just say Euro USD, GBP USD without the .sb on the end. The little arrow next to it tells you whether it's going up or down. Obviously green going up, red going down. And off to the right we have the bid and the ask. So this is showing us the pricing, if you're buying or selling, the bid price or the ask price. So if you're buying something, you tend to pay more, and when you're selling you tend to get less. So if you forget which price that you're going to be buying or selling at, the ask price, if you look at this one, let's take for an example Euro USD. This one is higher, this one is 952 and this one's 943. So these are in points, okay, 5 decimal places. Pips tends to be to 4 places. So if we were to say how many pips spread the difference between the bid and the ask, we would only really be interested in the pips. Points just gives you that extra level of granularity. Some of the older platforms, or a few years ago, they only ever gave you 4 decimal places, and each digit on the right hand side was a pip. Now we've got points, there's 10 points to a pip. But that gives you the spread, and you can view the spread very easily. If I right click, where was it? So I can look at the spread as well. Now this is in points. So if we look at the Euro USD, it's 8 points, which is 0.8 0.807 of a pip, which is very low. One of the reasons I use ADS myself is it's got such good spreads. Bear in mind, of course, that spreads can widen, can get bigger during a news release. So just bear that in mind. During normal trading activity, I'm in the UK, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Markets are in there sort of really going for it this morning. You can see that way there's a lot of activity going on and the spreads are low, so that's good. So I tend to keep that open if I want to see what the spread is, i.e. what the broker gets. It's his commission essentially for doing, if you place orders with him, he needs to make some money and he makes it through the spread. You don't pay him, although there are some brokers that charge a commission and keep lower spreads but charge you a fixed commission per lot. But we tend to just stick with the spreads on this one and just pay the broker a spread every time we place a trade. Okay, so that's what that's telling you. So Market Watch, let's just drag that back up here. Okay. So the data window, if we needed to use it, just gives you, for example, on the euro, gives you the date, the time, the open, the high, low, close volume. This is the data that gets exported when we mention that during our file. When you save as, it's this information that gets saved out in a spreadsheet for every hour for over a period of time. So the navigator, that's down below, gives you your accounts. We've only got one, which is our demo account here. If you have a live account as well, you'll see that one. Sometimes I have many demo accounts while I'm trying out new strategies and ideas. Nothing to stop you running multiple accounts. You can only have one at a time logged in though, so be careful you know which set of data you're looking at. Indicators gives me all the indicators on the system. Now this chart here, as we see, it has no indicators on it. It's empty, but I could, if I wanted to, just grab one of these indicators and drag and drop it across. We'll cover indicators later, but if I was to wanted to see an oscillator, an average true range, that's how you do it. You just drag it onto the chart window. Some indicators appear as their own little window below, and others appear. So if I was to do a trend, let's say we want to do, let's say, a moving average, drag that on, and this time it will appear in the top window as a line, which is the moving average 200-day in that example. We'll cover those in more detail, but that gives you, so your indicators can appear in their own window or in as a sort of a graph or a line or some kind of indicator on the top window. I should be able to delete that window now. There we go, and then I should be able to delete the indicator off the chart as well. Expert advisors, if you've got any robots that trade automatically, that's where they would be. Again, that's a little bit advanced for what we're talking about today, but that's where you find them. Similarly, scripts, there are scripts that will run and take out actions. It's a bit like if you remember the good old DOS days where you could run scripts, batch files, or today you've got more advanced scripting in Windows, but essentially it's a series of commands that you run. So that's the navigator window. Moving down beyond the navigator window, terminal. Okay, that is your trading terminal, and you can also close it from the little cross there. But this shows you your orders that you've got in play on the trade tab. So if we just show you what we've got there, from the left to right we have the order number, so each order has a unique number, the time it was placed. Okay, this is server time, the type, whether it's a sell or a buy, the size, how big, how many you purchased, the symbol, the price that you placed. Placed that one manually at that price, what my stop loss and what my take profit figures are. If we go and look at those on a chart, so this one was the USD Canada. Let's see if we can find that one. Here we go. So if we look at our chart, we'll see I've got the green line, which is the price, the opening price for that trade at 125.149, and if I look at my stop loss at 126.17, you'll see it's down here, and I can drag and drop that. I'll show you that in a second. And I've got a take profit. Take profit is here, and stop loss is up here. Okay. How and why I set those we'll talk about in another session. It's just to show you what we've got here. Any commission, we don't pay commission on this particular account. Swap is what you pay overnight to borrow the money to place the trade. Okay, now it depends whether it's in your favor or not. So that we'll cover that one again in a bit more detail. Profit is the amount of profit that trade is currently running. That one's in profit by a couple of pounds, and this one's £11.90 going the other way at the moment. So they'll bounce up and down as trading continues. And I've got my, as I say, I've got my stop loss and my take profit point. So I could go away and leave this knowing that this one is safe and it's not going to run away because I haven't set a stop loss. If things do turn against me, my stop loss will kick in. Okay, I'll make a loss, but I'll be protected. So that's very important to realize as well when you're trading, that you will make losses, but the idea of course is to make more than you lose, and there are techniques to make sure that the probability of you winning more than you lose, and how to go about making sure that you stack the odds in your favor when placing trades. But that's a whole new a video in itself, just how and why we get into trades. Okay, so so that was our trading window. There's a lot more on the tabs, account history, any news. I think I covered these in an earlier video. To be honest, the only ones I'm really interested in at this stage is my trading window. Just beware, on the MT4 platform, this little cross here means I can close out that trade in one click. Now the first time you do it, will ask you, do you really want to do this, and it will give you a terms and conditions, because it is very easy if you're not careful to accidentally click the, so be very careful. That is the shortcut way, one click way to close off a trade. Okay, so strategy tester is if you're back testing your robot back in time and you want to see how it performs. I've got a couple of robots I've designed and developed over the years, and I can go back to sort of 2000, year 2000, so that's 17 years ago, and run it in a simulator as that was trading live through 17 years, and that sort of gives you the performance figures and tells you what it's quite a sort of sophisticated bit of software actually, and quite complex in what it does and how it works, but essentially it's a way of back testing your robot to show you how it performs over time. Chats, if you're click on that one, if you're part of the MQL5 community, log in and you can chat away with other people, look at what they're doing, signals, etc, etc. I don't use that one myself, but it's there if you need it. Full screen just takes everything up to the full screen, so you know, if you wanted to examine something very quickly, you can press either F11 or that menu, and F11 toggles it back to the normal screen layout. So that's quite straightforward and simple there. So I think that wraps up the view menu for now. Hope that's been helpful, and look forward to talking to you in our next video where we talk about the insert and how we start building up lines and information on our charts. So look forward to talking to you soon. Many thanks.